Hine ma tovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Congregation Orami, especially if it's your first time here ever or just in a long while. So we're glad you're here with us tonight to celebrate Shabbat. Welcome also to those who are joining us from home through our live stream. We begin our service together in the middle of page 1 with pieces coming together. And let's read this in English together. One part of Judaism is called Tikkun Olam. It says that the world has been broken into pieces. All this chaos, all this discord. And our job, everyone's job, is to try to put the pieces back together to make things whole again. Maybe we're the pieces. Maybe what we're supposed to do is come together. That's how we end the brokenness. And I'd like to invite up Nicole to light our Shabbat candles. We are on page 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you, Nicole. And we continue in the middle of page 4 with the Shabbat blessing for family. And please join me. Dear God, in whatever way it comes into our lives, we give thanks for the blessing of family. For our children, may you be who you are. May you be blessed in all that you are. And for each of us, may we be who we say we are. So at this point in our service, we think of the week that has passed, and we hold on to all of the good things from this past week. So if you had an experience that inspired gratitude, if you have some good news to share, no matter how big or how small, I invite you to share that joy with the community now. Yeah, Tzipora? Awesome. Way to go. Yeah, on the floor.
I flew from Israel back here after 18 months of not being able to visit home. So,
Yeah. Welcome back. We're glad to have you here. Yeah, David?
Last night, with the clear skies, you could see Venus in the east, the moon overhead, Jupiter, and then further down Mars in a straight line.
Awesome. So we thank God for all these blessings, including the blessing of simply being alive for this moment in time with the words of Shehechianu found at the bottom of page 4. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. And we continue together at the top of page 5, reading responsively, we cannot merely pray. We cannot merely pray to God that wars should be ended, for we know that the world is made in such a way that we must find the path to peace within ourselves and with our neighbors. We cannot merely pray to God to root out prejudice, for we have already been given the insight with which to see the good in all people, if we would only view them with understanding. We cannot merely pray for God to end despair, for we have already been given the power to give help to the helpless and hope to the hopeless, if we would only use our power justly. We cannot merely pray for God to end disease, for we have already been given minds with which to search out cures and healings, if we would only use them constructively. Therefore we pray instead for strength, determination, and willpower, to do instead of only pray, to become instead of merely to wish. And we continue on page 8 with an abbreviated version of Lechado D, Boi Kala, just the last line and then the first 2 lines. Boi kala, 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 boi kala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Boi kala, 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 boi kala. Boi kala, boi kala. And we continue in the middle of page 9 with Make It Happen. Don't just wish for a better world. Rise up and make it happen. Please rise for our official call to worship, the Baruch Hu, in the middle of page 9. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach, hamivorach leolam vaed. Hamivorach, hamivorach leolam vaed. Please be seated. We continue with Roll into Dark. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. We continue in the middle of page 10 with We Believe, reading responsibly. We believe in tomorrow. We believe that poverty need not be permanent and that we need not learn war forever. We believe in humanity, despite all that we know about it. We believe that there can yet be a time of peace, of justice, and of love for all who live on earth. We believe we can share and bring that day closer by the way in which we live. Let people everywhere be sure that every deed counts, that every word has power. In spite of all its absurdities and frustrations and disappointments. Let us remember to live life as if it were a work of art. And please rise for the most important prayer in our tradition, the Shema, at the bottom of page 10. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Page 11. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'aderech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru Vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kadoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Liot lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. We continue on page 12 with the interpretive V'ahavta. And please join me. Hear, O Israel, just as God is one, so are we. Just as you shall love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might, so shall you love all people. Teach love, compassion, and understanding to your children when you sit in your home, while you walk on your way, when you retire, and when you arise. Bind these words as a sign upon your arm, so that you may fight against prejudice, between your eyes, so that you may not be blind to the suffering of others, and write them on the doorpost of your homes and gates, so that you remind yourself and others that intolerance will not be tolerated within these walls. We continue with Micha Mocha in the middle of page 14. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha neta b'kodesh, Nora tehillah tosefele, Nora tehillah tosefele. We continue in the middle of page 15 with Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We continue the top of page 16 with the reflection. Pray as if everything depends on God, but act as if everything depends on you. Those who rise from prayer, better persons, their prayers are answered. Please rise for our central prayer, the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Torah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol, Atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mechalkel Chaim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Tzomech noflim v'rofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatmeach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atal achayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Please be seated. We continue with a quiet moment for personal prayer or reflection. Page 18. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. At this point in our service, we think of loved ones who are in need of healing. Tonight, we think especially of Stan Foyer, Maggie Foote, Alyssa Freeman, Jonathan Prupis-Kern, and Alex Simon. Are there other loved ones whose healing we wish to pray for tonight?
Kayla Jones and Zori Claire.
James Smith,
With the power of community, we pray for their refuah shlema, their complete healing of body and or spirit, with the words of Mishaberach found at the bottom of page 20. Mishaberach avotenu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We continue together on page 22 with Aleinu. Please rise for the Aleinu prayer. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. At this point in our service, we think of loved ones who have passed away recently or at this time in years past. Tonight we remember with love Gary Patterson, the Machatonim of Joel Moses, and Marilyn Breslow, as well as the yahrzeit of Betty Arthur, mother of Keith Arthur, Harry Haken, grandfather of Jeff Haken, John Jennings, father of Russ Jennings, Molly Katzen, mother-in-law of Judy Katzen, Bernard Matz, uncle of Art Matz, Belle McCoy, grandmother of Lori Coulter, Dorothy Schulman, aunt of David Goldsmith, and Rose Siegel Simonoff, mother of Jerry Simonoff. Are there other loved ones we wish to remember tonight?
My father, Martin Spiegel. My grandfather, Artie Mayer. My grandmother, Frances.
Zichronam Libracha, may their memories always be a blessing. We remain standing as a community of support for the Mourner's Cottage on page 24. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, Bialma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shmei dekudesha brichu, le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, Tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort for all who are bereaved. and let us say. So I'd like to invite up Lisa to share some brief announcements on behalf of the board.
Shabbat Shalom. Looked like it was a great potluck tonight. Jeff and I couldn't make it in time, but the parking lot was full at 7 o'clock. So, okay, I won't go through all of these because there's a lot. In case you didn't notice, the gift shop is open tonight, 50% off everything. Torah study and brunch tomorrow morning at 11, and Sunday morning is the religious school Hanukkah party at 10 a.m. The Orami crafting group has returned in person. The crafting group will meet every third Monday of the month, beginning December 16th. So that's this coming Monday, from 6:30 to 8:30. They'll start meeting in the Orami art classroom and move to larger spaces as necessary. All crafts are welcome. And any questions can be directed to Cal Meadows, whose email address is in the weekly email. And Birame is next Wednesday, December 18th at Strange Ways Brewing on Dabney Road. And the Hanukkah family service looking ahead is December 27th. And you can bring your menorah and 4 candles to light. And Shauna wants to tell us about those little plants you might have seen on the table. So.
Hi. So there was an article in the Washington Post in 2016 about Henry Winkler. He was the son of he is the son of German Jews, and his parents barely made it out in time. They were living in a community of refugees in Manhattan. And a woman arrived in a coffin, but she was alive in the early 40s, and she had a spider plant at her feet. So I was really touched by this story, and I went out and bought a spider plant, and I thought, now what am I going to do with it? And then I decided that it would be kind of cool to build community, and I started with my choir up there in Northern Virginia, and then I also did this with my congregation. So I've just gotten board approval to do this with Orami, and I brought 18 plants that are in little pots like this, and they're in bags out in the hallway, and I'm hoping not to take any home tonight. They're very easy to take care of. You just need to find a place with light and water them once a week. And an added benefit is that spider plants will take toxins out of the air. So I hope that you will consider taking one home.
And they make babies too.
Yeah, they make babies, yeah, definitely.
I have one announcement to make. On February 9th, Orami will be holding a Tu B'Shvat Seder. For anyone who's never been to a Tu B'Shvat Seder, it's an interesting Seder where we celebrate the various types of fruits, and we have 4 glasses of wine. But I'm also looking for a couple of volunteers to help me organize and run the Seder. So if anyone is willing and interested in helping me. Yes? Okay, thank you. So anyway, I would appreciate any help. Thank you. And if you have questions about the Tu B'Shvat Seder, I'm sure Rabbi Hoover can do a much better job of explaining this than I can.
Thank you, Ed. In terms of volunteering, that would be mostly purchasing various lists of fruit that we have to represent inner and outer. Some have shells, some have pits. There's whole different experiences of fruit to celebrate the birthday of trees. So that would be the main thing you'd be helping with.
Main thing would be actually helping setting up for the Seder.
Yeah. So just like we need help setting up for the Passover Seder, if anyone can help put little pieces of fruit on the plates and such, that would be great. So we'll conclude our service tonight with Od Yavo near the top of page 25. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Thank you, Patricia, for playing piano tonight. So we've concluded our service portion of the evening. And tonight we have a special guest speaker. It is my honor to introduce Rosa Hamilton. Rosa is the Director of Outreach and Support Programs at Side by Side, which is a nonprofit LGBTQ, etc. center serving the Richmond area queer youth since 1991. It's had different names since then. At Side by Side, she directs programming efforts including support groups, housing support, school outreach, family and caregiver support, youth crisis services, and outreach to the Richmond LGBTQ plus community and youth. And she makes sure that Side by Side youth are connected with the services and care they need, and that staff are supported in their roles. As a former educator and support group volunteer, she has a BA and a MA in history from UC Davis, not far from my hometown of Sacramento, and UVA respectively, and has over 8 years experience teaching, supporting, and mentoring youth and young adults. When she is not at Side by Side, you can find her drumming in an all-trans rock band, strumming the guitar, riding her bike, or hanging out with her awesome cat with a grumpy face. Right? So please join me in welcoming Rosa Hamilton.
This one up a little higher. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for welcoming into your congregation. When I got here, I said I was hungry, and I got a plate, and I sat in the back, and like 4 or 5 people came up to me and gave me more food to eat. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate y'all looking out for me. So that was a great introduction, just talking about what I do at Side by Side. I just want to share a bit more and keep it brief, and then open it up to a Q&A afterwards. Have people heard about Side by Side or RoseMe before? Okay, so y'all are pretty familiar with it. We're an LGBT youth center that's been active in Richmond since 1991. We're across the street from Topgolf, which is where most people know where that is if they don't know where we are. But we have support groups every night of the week, and we support LGBT and trans kids who are in between ages of 11 to 25. And basically, it's just a space where we just center them in their voices and their experiences. It's a space where they lead, and we're there just to help them and put them in touch with what they need, and just try to create opportunities where they can like grow and have those experiences, because a lot of them, especially some of our trans teenage youth, are the only trans people at their school, or like the only person like them that they know. And then they come to Side by Side, and everyone's like them, and they get to have fun and like hang out with people that get it and just like know what it's like. And they can also get support from adults too if they need that, but a lot of times they just want to hang out, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm there every night of the week, and it's really great for myself. I mean, just in terms of my own history and my own story growing up. I was raised Catholic in a very religious upbringing and a very strong faith community. And it was one that was not welcoming to people like myself, trans people and queer people. And so when I grew up and was part of that community, it wasn't a community that accepted me as an adult. And that was very hard for me, and a very traumatizing experience, was losing what had been my community that had raised me as an adult. And so that's really what brings me to kind of my work and what motivates me, and that's why I've been working in this field now. That's why I got interested in teaching youth originally as a teacher, and then got into nonprofit stuff, is just that it feels really good to give that support to a kid that I didn't necessarily get. and just like make them feel like they matter and are seen. So that's what motivates me. I brought some stuff, just some resources and some pamphlets that maybe I could either leave or pass out, both about our schedule of support groups. We have groups that meet Monday to Thursday, and our building is open every day of the week for folks to just come in for whatever services they need, basically. And I also brought a sheet of volunteer opportunities if folks are looking to get involved with us. The two main things we need are donations and people, because that's what everything runs on. And there's a lot of different levels people can get involved at. If it's, you know, some people like coming in and helping with the support groups every week. Nicole comes in every Wednesday and helps us out. But there's also like volunteering at like pop-up events, or if you're a computer person, we are not, and we could really use that kind of admin type help. So I will leave this here, maybe pass it out. If you want this directly, I can give this to you. But hopefully maybe I could also leave some here as well. Or I also believe you said you could email this out to people, which would be great. But yeah, I'm just open here. I don't want to take up too much time on your Friday evening, but I can take any questions and give any answers if folks have any. Yeah.
Hi, what sort of events do you have during the year that bring you out into the community
Mm-hmm.
to celebrate?
That's a great question. So there's some different ones. There's some that are more youth-centered. We have Queer Prom every year, which is like LGBT prom experience that the kids plan themselves. We kind of just like give them the money to do it, basically. But they come together and they plan the whole thing. And it's something we'll put out there and folks can come to, but that's more youth-oriented and kind of like stuff that they do, basically. But in terms of my role as like doing our outreach, I go out to a lot of schools. I meet with a lot of gender sexuality alliance clubs. I was just out at Farina High School 2 weeks ago, meeting with their students out there. We table at a lot of events. Tonight we're at the Children's Museum because there's like Pride Night Meet Santa, where it's like Meet Santa but only for LGBT families, which I was at last year on this night, but tonight we have volunteers doing that. So we table at that, and that's just like one way we're able to get our faiths out there, basically. Yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you, Nicole, keeping me on message. Glitter Glam Jam, yes, on January 25th is our big kind of dance-a-thon fundraiser of the year. It's something we do where folks can make a dance team, but it's like you can come in and dance, but also like raise money for Side by Side. And it's just a big party that we have at Diversity every year. And it's something we're still looking for volunteers for and for donations and sponsorship type things. So if you're interested in that, definitely you can get in touch with me. I can leave my contact info here so that you can reach out. But we would love that. Thank you, Nicole. That was very helpful. Yeah. Okay, this is embarrassing. So my band's name is Girl Spit. Yeah, so it's slightly, yeah, you can look it up on your own time, yes. I'm off the clock. I'm off the clock when I do that, yes. Yeah. Yeah, this is something that is really important to me. I used to work at another organization called He, She, She, and We, which does parent support. And Side by Side offers the same. It did for a while. What we have is a parent discussion group that meets. And right now it's kind of on a hiatus because I believe the old facilitator couldn't do it anymore. So we are looking for basically another person who wants to lead this group. But there is a lot of interest because a lot of our parents are supporting their youth because they're bringing them to a space like this. But they also like want to figure out what they can do better and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely get in touch with me, and we are looking for folks to help put that group on, actually. So, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how much you hear personal stories from the youth today, but how does that compare to kind of your experiences growing up? Do you see things getting better, or is it harder for kids? What's kind of going on these days?
Yeah, it's a good question. I was actually thinking about that earlier when I was thinking about what I wanted to say, was that when I came out in the 2010s, it seemed like things were like always getting a little better, you know? Like there's a lot of optimism. And I feel like right now there's kind of a lot of worry about that just because of the world politics. I mean, right now, being a trans kid is kind of up for political debate, it seems like, and that has an effect on the kids. They know what people say about them. They know what the discourse is like, and it makes them not feel as confident. It makes them feel not as happy about themselves. So it's hard to see that. It is the flip side, though, of like more visibility, you know, because our community was getting so much stronger and getting so much more confident. And what I see it is an attempt to put us back in the closet that I know is not going to work, but it's going to look kind of ugly is kind of how I think of it for now. But what I think of it is just like, I think there's more people that care about just listening to kids and giving them what they want than being mean, basically. So I'm still really optimistic, but I think right now, especially in the last month or two, people have maybe started to wonder. But also a lot of people have reached out. Like we've had so much support at Side by Side, people knocking on the door and just giving us a check. Like this week, someone knocked on the door and gave Marquise like a $10,000 check and was just like, I want to help however I can. And I remember the day after the election, I was working in the building, and this woman just knocked on the door and she said that she wanted to help however she could, you know, and she wanted to volunteer. And people have been really reaching out and like getting involved with us, which has been really great. Yeah.
This isn't a question, but I know Chesterfield just changed their policy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was at the public school board meeting. So for folks that aren't aware, Chesterfield County Public Schools, on Tuesday they met, and they, up until now, Chesterfield's had a very affirming policy where students have been able to change their student records to reflect the name and pronouns they want to use. They can use bathroom and facilities that identify or that are aligned with their gender identity. And so they brought up a new potential policy that would have taken those rights away from them, basically. But 150 people turned out to speak. I was there till 1:30 a.m. I spoke at midnight, and it had an effect because the school board, it looked like they were going to vote to support that policy, and they ended up, it wasn't totally like 100% great, but it also wasn't as bad as it could have been, because the big thing they were going to do was pass this policy that if a kid expressed any interest in using a different name or pronoun, that the counselors and the teachers at the school would be legally responsible to notify their parents and wouldn't have a choice. So that did not pass, but they did kind of amend their policy in ways that we didn't want to see. But the big one is just that, the big change, I guess, is just that if you want to amend your school record, you do need parent support for that, but that's already kind of been how it is anyways, so it's not that big of a change. What I will say, though, is I think the media kind of reported on what happened at the school board meeting, not to get into the weeds, I guess, but I was talking about this yesterday with the youth because they came in really anxious after that meeting because they thought that the school board had like approved this horrible policy. And what actually happened is that they didn't do that, but they did amend current policy. And I think it kind of got reported on not super well because people left that thinking that things were really bad when it's not exactly what we want, but students can still use their names and pronouns at schools. They can still use the bathroom that aligns with their identity. They can still be themselves at school. There's no like, teachers and counselors can support them and stuff like that. But we do want to be vigilant because this kind of thing is like, they're trying to bring in these more restrictive laws all over the state. So, yeah.
What percentage of your students or kids are homeless?
That's a good question. Right now, it's not as much as it was in the past. I would say, like the statistics on youth homelessness in the U.S. is that most homeless youth are LGBT+. I think it's the largest percentage of homeless youth, I believe it's 40%, identify as some variety of LGBT. So it's disproportionate in the youth homeless population. Right now, we have a lot of folks reach out to us for housing support, but they don't necessarily come to the support groups a lot. Like just this week, I had 5 people reach out to me who said that they are either homeless or in an abusive relationship or their parents don't support them. And we used to have a full housing program at Side by Side, but it's been rough to be a nonprofit in the last couple of years, and we weren't able to keep funding that within our roof, but we have community partners that we work with now, so I refer those people to UMFS or Pride Place, Virginia Home for Boys and Girls. So we are able to get them help, but because I'm referring them out, they're not necessarily coming to the groups right now. That's something we really want to change next year with hopefully getting some more grants, some more funding, and bringing that program back, because then like we can have more stuff kind of under one roof, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good question. Oh, yeah.
What are you most excited about and hopeful for the new year?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm excited about, I think when I joined, just like I was saying, I think there'd been a couple programs that had to get scaled back, and it's looking like next year is gonna be like a really good year for us in terms of and a lot better. So we're gonna be able to bring back things like this. So I'm really excited to see that and just see us kind of grow and be able to give more, I guess. I think that's the big thing I'm excited about at Side by Side. I am really excited about queer prom, because that's gonna be really cute. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. My band's gonna record our album, so that'll be really cool. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, we're going on tour probably a little bit, so that'll be fun. I like doing that. And my cat turns 7 next year, so big things happen in 2025. Yeah.
There has been a flyer, a side-by-side flyer about groups on the bulletin board that's probably like
Oh, cool.
10 or 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
So certainly out of date.
Mm-hmm.
So let's replace it with
Yes.
something maybe.
Yes, let's do that. I imagine that's pretty out of date by now. Yeah. Yeah, Nicole.
Do we need donations of food and snacks?
Yes, food and snacks. Nicole brings food every time that she comes. It's always a very either tasty ziti or a mac and cheese situation, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, food donations are really appreciated because a lot of our budget kind of weekly goes to, every night we offer a free dinner meal to all the youth that come. And we also make sure all of our youth leave well fed. And we can do that because of donations, basically, either money-wise or food donations. We get a lot of support. Like just yesterday, I don't remember which church it was, but it was a Baptist church brought this really good mac and cheese that was like Southern mac and cheese that the kids really liked. On Tuesday, this Presbyterian church brought this huge order of KFC. It was just 10 buckets, and just the kids they really lit up at the KFC. So yes, that would be great. You can also reach out to me about that if you're interested in either making a meal like Nicole does and bringing that in, or making a donation so we could buy a meal for the night. Yeah, that's, again, thank you, Nicole, keeping me on message. Thank you. Yeah.
How many youth do you usually get each night?
I would say average night, it depends on the group and the week. I would say maybe 15 a night. It was a good crew of people and support group. But it's so different every night. On Wednesday is our middle school group, which is 11 to 14. And they haven't learned what being self-conscious about themselves is like. So they're just so confident. They just run around and everyone's their best friends, and they're just I'm excited about this and now I'm not, sort of stuff. And they're just so cool, even though they're way cooler than I was at that age. And then some of the teen groups are a little bit more I'm a little too cool for that sort of thing. So it's fun seeing them kind of get older and kind of grow and mature. And then our young adult group, they're all like working in college and stuff like that. So we could kind of see kids, you know, if they are joining in middle school group, like really grow up into adults through the program, which is really kind of a trip, like meeting folks. Like I met someone last night after I left work, and I was just talking with them about Side by Side, and they were like, I went to Side by Side in 2017. Like that's what I used to go there all the time. And like my mom still like volunteers and donates there. And I'm like, I didn't know that. That's really cool. So it's definitely a community thing that kind of like brings a lot of people together, which is nice. Cool. Any other questions? If not, thank you so much for having me tonight. I'll have these things if you want them, but.
Great. Thank you so much, Rosa. If you have any questions about ways to volunteer, I know we have some people who've been helping with Home Again Men's Shelter preparing food on a regular basis. Maybe we can put some of those efforts towards helping feed the youth at Side by Side. And I'll send out the information about more volunteer opportunities. So if you can kindly return your service prayer handout to the table near the entrance and join us in back for Kiddush and Mosi, that would be great. Shabbat Shalom.